Hi there, this is Marie T. Russell. Welcome to the Inner Self audio version of Know Thy Enemy, Evolving Beyond the Status Quo, written by Gwilda Wiyaka. The article starts with a quote from the song by Pink Floyd, Welcome to the Machine. What did you dream? It's all right. We told you what to dream. You dreamed of a big star. He played a mean guitar. He always ate in the steak bar. He loved to drive in his Jaguar. So, welcome to the machine. Pink Floyd. Though our current society served us in the past, it is unable to stand in the increasing velocity of the evolving age. Like a biplane trying to break the sound barrier, it's losing integrity, starting to shake apart, and its ugly underbelly is being exposed. If we are to embrace the new world at hand, we must be willing to disentangle ourselves from the old, which requires a parasitical cleanse of sorts. To free ourselves of parasites, it is important to understand how they function in all their various forms and stages. Know thy enemy. Yet, just like a parasitical infection, the enemy is within you as well as around you. Know thyself. Evolving beyond the status quo. I'm not recommending that we spend undue time scratching around in our past, nor do I advocate polarizing against parasites. The status quo is simply what thrived in the preceding frequency. We now have the opportunity to evolve beyond it. We do need to unveil enough of our current system to extract ourselves from it and reclaim our personal power. Only by pulling our power back from the exploitative system can we redirect it to create what we want in our lives. One of the first places we need to collect our power from is the universal lies perpetrated upon all of us by our culture. There was a movie some years back that provides a great metaphor for this lie we have been living: The Matrix. One great line from this film is, "The Matrix is the world that has been pulled over your eyes." In The Matrix, the agreed-upon reality was actually generated by a computer program. All humans were hooked into this program to occupy their minds, while their bodies were being farmed for energy to feed aliens. How does this relate? The consumer-based system we live in is designed to tell us lies and sell us a false reality. Through this false reality, our personal power is appropriated to run the system, rather than sustain our personal lives. Welcome to the machine. The Pyramid Scheme, from the masses to the elite. Using the pyramid configuration, let's look at our current societal structure based upon frequency and evolving realities. At the base of the pyramid, we find our hard-working masses. If we set aside the damage and patterns from which many operate, most people try to put in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay, aspiring to live a good life while providing for their families. They believe what they are shown, do what they are told, and to the best of their abilities relate to each other honestly. They tend to believe in the basic benevolence of those above them. At this level, information is doled out from the tiers above on a need-to-know basis. If they only need to know positive numbers to function and serve, then negative numbers are not brought into the picture. After all, knowledge is considered power, and the more powerless they are in the bottom tier, the easier they are to control. The next tier up is in charge of the bottom tier, much like managers in a corporation. These quote-unquote managers enjoy the power of their position, but for the most part are munificent to those below them. The managers are afforded more information than they share with their charges. They would not want to panic their employees with rumors of layoffs or mergers, for they might look elsewhere for employment before management is ready to surplus them. At the management level, it is still believed that the higher-ups will provide good severance packages for those being let go, so ultimately all will be well. The employees just don't need to know yet, and it is important to keep things operating smoothly. This is the manager's reality. In the next level up, we have the supervisors who manage the managers. They have even more inside information. They know the company needs to trim the fat. After all, what are a few older employees when they can get someone younger to do it for less? They must look at the big picture. The company has to make a profit to survive, and competition is stiff. Let the managers be all warm and fuzzy with the little guy. The supervisor has a more important job to do, a job that ensures the company's well-being. This is the supervisor's reality. This continues up the tiers through executives and CEOs until we reach the all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid. Here, the social elite run the show by manipulating the realities, finances, and lives of those below them in order to feed off the masses. After all, they are the elite, have been for generations, and it is their birthright to rule. This is the elite's reality. Imbalance and feminine-masculine balance. This basic pyramid scheme is the structure underlying every organization in our current society, from schools and corporations to the government. The people in the bottom tiers are pulled around by their emotions or heart, which is characterized by an imbalance resulting from aligning more to the dark, light, feminine frequencies. Those in the top tiers are controlled by logic or the mind and aligned more to the light, masculine frequencies. This imbalance is characterized by mental delusions and emotional disconnection. The top of the pyramid has evolved toward the masculine light without the counterbalance of the feminine. At the bottom tier, there is little information, power, or wealth spread among many, while at the top there is much information, power, and wealth shared by few. This is the pyramid structure that develops in times of extreme polarization. Everything is pulled apart by this polarization and is taken to its most extreme point of distortion. This is not evil. Instead, it is the simple expansion and contraction, breath in, breath out, that is necessary for movement and therefore necessary for life. Becoming aware of our compromises and programming. It is important to note that it is not necessary or desirable to remove all of our programming at this time. To do so would produce individuals so refined that they could not survive in the current system. We are all addicted to something. It's just part of the equation. It's not a matter of removing all of the things that compromise our frequency, but instead becoming aware of those compromises and choosing which ones to address. In short, if while listening to this, you discover you have a sacred cow that is a deal breaker for you, just hang on to that bovine as long as you like. There are many other things you can choose to address in order to evolve. During times of a single pyramid hierarchy, it is relatively easy to manipulate the masses. This manipulation is achieved and maintained by careful and systematic programming, which is designed to control the energy or frequency of individuals and groups. If frequency can be controlled, realities can be dictated, and tiers on the pyramid can be established according to the agendas of the ones in control. Albert Einstein said, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Albert Einstein. In order for this programming to be effective, the masses must be recalibrated on all 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. One basic example of such programming can be found in our military boot camps. Physically, our recruits are compromised through poor quality processed food, dangerous immunizations, harsh living conditions, and exhausting rigorous exercise. This imbalance puts the body under extreme stress, which draws energy from all other levels in order to survive. After all, there is no point having a sharp mind without a body to carry it. Emotionally, recruits become challenged by the physical stress and are ill prepared to defend themselves against the critical humiliation and shaming techniques employed by their superiors, which results in shattered self-esteem, a shutdown of the emotional realm, and a continual state of fight or flight. Mentally, without a strong sense of self or emotion, they lose grounding in their former reality and more readily accept the now agreed upon logical reality being forced upon them. It is clearly demonstrated that resistance is futile. If they hope to remain safe, they had better toe the line dictated by the hierarchy. When in fight or flight mode, one does whatever is necessary to find safety. Flight is impossible without being hunted down for being AWOL, and fight is hopeless against such overpowering numbers, so compliance is the only remaining choice. Yes, sir. Welcome to the machine. If the physical, emotional, and mental levels have been hacked into and are under siege, our overall frequency becomes so restricted that we have no conscious connection to the higher frequency or more unified realms. We then can no longer connect with universal guidance. Sovereignty is compromised, and we are now totally subject to the will of the system in order to get what we need. Rather than following our intuition, we do what we are darn well told in order to survive. Welcome to the machine. This article was excerpted from the book, So We're Still Here. Now what? Spiritual Evolution and Personal Empowerment in a New Era. The Map Home by Gwilda Wiyaka. This article was read by Marie T. Russell, publisher of InnerSelf.com. We hope that you have enjoyed this article. For over 30 years, we at Inner Self have sought to encourage new attitudes and new possibilities. For more inspiration, visit us at InnerSelf.com. Thank you.